Paul, we've just been talking to Conor Harrahan, who's been telling us about his coaching aspirations and the fact that he's doing his badges at the moment. Is it nice for you to have players like that in the room?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good when players take coaching courses. I wish I'd have took mine younger in my career. It would have helped me. I'd had probably a better understanding of the game and that. So it is. And then obviously the senior players, like we spend time with the players, so many hours, but the players spend more time, in the dressing room, on the bus, in the hotels. They spend even more time. So the more people you can have in the building who have an understanding of the game and can help the younger players out, the better. And if you want people who have a love for the game in the building, not the people who it's a wage and it's a way to make a living, and as soon as the whistle goes, they're in their cars and off. You want the people who study the game, do extra gym work. Like, it's no surprise this morning that I went in the gym and Didsy was in there working on his chassis. But it's no surprise he's had the career he's had. And I'll say that to the lads today. The ones who care, the ones who get the best out of themselves, and they're the ones who have potentially the best careers and can help the majority of the dressing room. So yeah, great. Conor's really good. Been a great pro and been brilliant since we've been here. So if he's doing his coaching badges, I'll look forward to watching him put a session on.
He's desperate for a mug, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were going to say desperate to put a session on. I'm thinking he can do that, especially in this weather. He's desperate for, he needs to get one on target that the keeper don't save then. It's a simple rule, isn't it? I mean, in fairness, Foz deserves a mug just for being an unbelievable performer regularly. But unfortunately, it's a tough school, isn't it? You don't get it for that, you get it for goals. So hopefully Foz will get on the end of one tomorrow.
I've been meaning to ask you sort of, I know building a culture is a long-term project really, but when you hear the players talking about the mugs and the other little things that you do, does that tell you that you're moving in the right direction with what you're trying to build?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, there's no right or wrong, is there? It's just, this is how I like a football club to be. In the same way as they already know how the culture will be in the summer, how pre-season will look. They're already terrified by that, which is always enjoyable for me. And the mugs are just a little thing. I can walk past someone in a minute in the refectory who's got a paper cup. I can have a go at them for not helping the environment, and I can have a go at them for not scoring any goals. So it just adds to the banter and the fun of the place. I don't know, but like today, I've got to give Tomo his mug. So that'd be good. I was going to make a joke then, but I can't. But so yeah, so you just want the lads to enjoy being here, because if they're here, then they've got more chance that they'll want to listen to you, and they're doing more work, and they're concerned and care about the people who are here, be it the washerwomen or kit men or just odd job man who's a ledge. That whole thing. You just want the people to enjoy coming into work, whatever job you do, and if they're coming in because they want to win a £6 mug, then great.
It's been another busy week, busy month, even longer back than that really. How are the energy levels for you and for the boys in the room?
I think for the lads, I don't know actually, I'm just probably lying. I think for the lads it's not as bad as it is for the coaches. I know that sounds crazy, but when they do leave here, they can disengage their brains a little bit. When we leave here, we can't disengage our brains. We need to prepare for the next one all the time. I think for some of them, especially the physically resilient ones, like the birdies and that, just playing a game every 3 or 4 days doesn't really touch the sides with him. I think for the Dad's Army, it might hit him a bit harder, really. So it depends where you are on that scale. But I think they're okay. I think, it's not woe me, but it is a lot of travelling. The fans who are kindly making the effort, I bet they feel exhausted when they go into work the next day, as did we yesterday. So it is just a disruption of sleep. It's not so much the games and the prep, because you always have that. It's the fact that a lot of them have been journeys. You're coming back at this time. No one can sleep. So Wednesday night, what day are we on now? Thursday, sorry. Tuesday night, I had 3 hours sleep. There's nothing I could do about that. And it's the same for the players. So that's the hardest bit, I think. The whole sleep deprivation is the hardest thing. But I think when the game kicks off, we'll do very little today, training-wise, physically. We just have to try and keep them on their toes mentally, so they're fresh, or they think they're fresh when they go tomorrow night. But then, fortunately, after that, I'm going to let them have a few days off, because they need to get away from us. They need to see their families. They need to replenish their enthusiasm physically and mentally.
When you have nights like that, do you try to sleep? Do you lay there awake in bed, or do you get up and do something with the time?
What I did this time, I tried to go to sleep. I did. And it wasn't that I was stressed. I mean, if you lose 5-0, you don't go to sleep for a different reason if you win 5-0. But it's just the fact that your brain has been engaged and so high on adrenaline for so long, it's so hard to come off it. And then when I played, it was the same. So I got to sleep about 1, but about 4 I probably got up. And then I just start looking at Pompey websites and what their managers say. And I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? So you just start researching really while it's quiet. And then I watch back the goals from the night before. Then I watch if any of the lads have done any interviews. I like to see what they've said. And I just sort of research while it's quiet, really. And then take my dog out, and then the whole day starts again, run 5K, and then you get back on the treadmill. So, yeah, but I don't want to not sleep. I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to make it I'm a martyr. And I'm like you know, for those old enough to understand Margaret Thatcher, who could survive off 4 hours a night, I need a good 8. I get a bit grumbly on 3. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal for me. And I know when we saw the players, when they came in, some of them were exhausted, but, you know, they had to come in because we need to see who's in a place to go again. We need to meetings. We need to prepare again.
What did you learn about Pompey then?
Well, I mean, obviously I played against them many times. It hasn't been a hugely popular place for me to go. I listened to, you know, their result of the weekend, listened to the post-match conversation of the manager. We already watched loads of their games, as they're brilliant, as in they'll see all our details, they'll watch everything as we have with them, but it's more about the fact how good they are on the ball and what the meetings we try to put together, and if we could change anything, and if I could change something that I'd say to the players to engage, really. And then I started reading this book, and then my mind just goes off again. I'm off like a dart.
It's exactly, or will be exactly 4 weeks since you went to Ipswich on the Friday night, and that game was talked about as maybe a test to see the progress that you were making. Do you look at the game at Portsmouth in a similar sort of way? Yeah,
I think you're right. I personally, we went into the game thinking, right, we'll see where we are, because Ipswich were like the out and out. Them and Plymouth really the two outstanding teams. So, and in that game, look, we limited them to very few chances, but we created 0. So it was sort of like, look, we're not doing too bad, but we're still a way off. This game is similar, I think, you're right, and it's a very difficult place to go. I took a team there last year and we were flying, and we got a right good crack. So it will be interesting to see where we're at. Obviously, it's amazing you said only a month ago. Feels like 3 months that. But yeah, it will be a good test. I know, you know, they'll obviously want to, you know, do well against us. 2 big teams, 2 big traditions, 2 big histories, the usual thing. But it just comes down to 22 lads on the pitch at any one time, as long as we don't get someone sent off. So it will just come down to that, and hopefully we'll have enough to cause them problems. They will definitely cause us problems because they're a really good possession-based team that create chances, but I think we'll cause them some. So we'll know more about us as a group and, you know, where we need to strengthen, yeah, come 11 o'clock Friday night, I think.
And I just wanted to talk to you about young players, because Jake Rooney's really been the success story of the week. First league debut at MK Dons and did very well for you on Tuesday night as well. When it comes to younger players, how long does it take for you to really know that you can trust them? Because it's always a gamble when you give a younger player their debut, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a good question, which I don't have an answer for, but I'll think on my feet. I think his performances give you encouragement, obviously. So, you know, we could have played with different personnel at MK Dons, which is a big pitch. The way they play, they make the pitch big. It's a big ask. We could have played a different system. So the third choice is to play Runes, if you know what I mean. I can play someone different system, or play him. So politely, it would be easy not to play him. Not just Rooney, just anyone. You can always find a different way to play than. However, I watched him train well that week. Watched him train on the Thursday, I think it was, and he was like the outstanding performer, and Dobbs and that were trying to take him on, and he kept defending well. And in the end, you just have to allow your brain to comprehend what is seen, if you know what I mean, as opposed to, look, don't worry about what his name is on his back. Did he do what you asked him to do? Yeah, great. Like, it doesn't matter if he's. Sometimes he could have played 50 league games and he could be emotionally scarred or have bad habits, but he hasn't really. So in that respect, giving him a chance is a massive gamble. But then the difficulty for the younger lads is back to back to back to back. So you can, I have seen it, and you might have different stories to me, that someone can go in for 4 or 5 games, look great, and then they just have a dip. It's the emotional drain that it does him. It's not the physicality of it, it's the emotional of going from playing under 21s to playing once every 10 days, sometimes, you know, once a week, to suddenly playing a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, where every single time you touch the ball matters. That's the difficulty. But you can only get that by running the team. Now, sometimes the running the team comes through lack of form of your colleagues. Sometimes it comes through an injury. You get in, you stay in, you play 5, 6, 7 games, and all of a sudden you're a mainstay of the team. So, look, when I first come in, I wasn't playing Foz. However, he won me over. Then he got in the team, and then I think he's one of our you know, if I had to give a player of the season for the last 4 weeks I've been here, he'd be up there. I think he's been brilliant. So sometimes you just need an opportunity, and then you just need to grab it. And at the moment, I think Jake's done really well. However, there's the Curtis Davises, the Chezies, all chomping at the bit to come back in, and you know, it's his job to, while we play a certain way, to keep his shirt. So, in answer to your question, in a very long answer that I know you'll edit, I would probably say, yeah, 5 or 6 games, and if you've got to 5 or 6, I think you're in a really good place.